Hey folks, Ty Cohen here, and I'm excited for this week's webinar. We've got some really great stuff in store for you. I have a good friend of mine that is going to share something that I think you will be incredibly pleased with. All right, so you're going to love what we teach you and what we show you on this webinar. But before we get started, I want to do some general housekeeping, and just so we make sure that you're able to hear and see us, I want you to put a 1 in the questions box or the chat box if you can hear my voice. So give me a 1 if you can hear my voice. So we've got Michael, we've got Rhonda putting the ones in. We've got the ones coming in fast. Reggie, we've got Richard, all right? We've got Sam, we've got Kevin here. We've got, all right, the Kyra, the ones are coming in. Awesome, awesome. So you guys can obviously hear my voice. Give me a 2. Put a 2 in the questions, the chat box if you can see the screen here, all right, if you have visual. Awesome, awesome. For 2s are coming in. So it sounds like, and it looks like you guys can both hear my voice as well as see what's about to take place here. So once again, thanks to you and everyone else for joining us on our call today. It's so great to be able to connect with you again on these weekly calls. You know, I see lots of familiar names on the webinar page, so thanks to everyone that continues to come out week after week. You are really going to like this week's presentation. I also want you to stick around for some Q&A at the end because that's going to be fabulous as well. So if you have a burning question, you can enter them into the question and answer box on your screen, and we'll make sure that we answer all of your questions. And we're also going to talk about several proven ways for you to put cash in your pocket and create the lifestyle that you want. And most importantly, the lifestyle that you deserve. We're going to talk about how you can buy a successful and profitable business using, get this, none of your own money, and how you can also make $20,000 in the next 30 days by helping my friends find deals. That's right. So before we get into the details, I have to go over a few disclaimers. Now, these are things that lawyers make us cover. Just know that we're not making any income claims or guaranteeing you that you will make any money, and we're not lawyers or accountants offering any legal or accounting advice. So with that said, let's go ahead and officially start. Now, I'm really excited that you're here on this call, and you'll have a chance to meet Mike Warren. Mike and I have known each other for a long time. We've traveled to some really exotic, amazing places, and he's going to share some strategies with us today that are revolutionary. I think he's one of the most brilliant guys that I've met. Now, we're all looking for some simple ways to create a cash flow and creating like systems that help us to generate income and putting money in the bank, right? That does not require a ton of effort or a lot of cash up front. Now, the reason I invited Mike on this webinar is because he's figured out a way to tap a virtually unknown market by dealing with businesses for sale or companies that need just a little bit of help. Now, what's great about it is that Mike needs your help to find deals and is willing to pay you an insane amount of money up front to help him. You can even partner with him on deals if you want. Now, he'll explain everything in just a few minutes when we get started. So over the next 80 minutes or so, Mike is going to reveal the secret to getting $20,000 for simply finding a business for sale and sending it to their team. And they're going to pay you the $20,000 up front as soon as they buy it. So how's about that? It's much simpler than I could ever imagine or explain. And I actually had no idea that this market is so huge and so easy to do. Plus, the best part is there's no competition in this industry. Now, on a side note, if you are interested in learning how to buy a company without using any of your own money or going to a bank, then you absolutely need to listen to what Mike will be teaching you. And for those of you who don't know him, here's some quick information. Now, Mike has been in real estate and buying and selling companies for over 2 decades. The only time I've ever heard of anyone doing what he is doing was in the movie Pretty Woman with Julia Roberts and Richard Gere. Remember that? In that movie, it shows how he bought and sold companies for insane profits. This is not real estate or starting a side internet business. This is about making enough money to replace your salary and be your own boss without doing any of the work. Now, Mike has figured it out for the small guy and made it super simple. So all that you have to do is some basic online research. And Mike shows you how to get the experts who will run the company for you, which means you don't need to know anything about the business that you're buying. Now, when he showed me how it works and how anyone can do it regardless of their education or experience, I just got totally excited and had to have him on this webinar. What he's doing is amazing. It's very smart and it's super profitable. Right now, I was just talking to Mike before the call, and we agreed to keep this training short, simple, and straight to the point because he has to work with a business seller after this call. All right. Actually, it looks like Mike just got on the webinar here. So, hey, Mike, are you there?
Yeah, hi Ty, and hi everybody. This is Mike. I'm really excited to be on the call, and if it's cool with you, Ty, I'm going to give a select few over $8,000 in free education at the end of the call. So I really do want to encourage everyone to stay all the way till the end. Plus, if we have some time, we'll even take some questions from the audience.
Well, I can't wait to hear all about that. And before we get started, I just wanted to give everyone a little bit more information about you, Mike, if you don't mind. Now, Mike has regularly shared the stage with such notables such as Donald Trump, Robert Kiyosaki, Richard Branson, Rudy Giuliani, Jack Walsh, and many of the top financial and business experts in the country. Mike has identified a groundbreaking opportunity for investors to acquire $1 million business without using any of their own money. It's just amazing. And also without using their own credit or getting a loan from a lender. Now, his system is actually revolutionary, and it's completely different from any other system that I've seen because it includes no money down methods that he actually has successfully used in real estate, and he figured out how to apply these same strategies to business acquisitions. No one else has figured this stuff out. Now, Mike has invented a unique way of acquiring businesses using a leverage buyout, which is similar to a lot of no money down techniques that you see some of the successful investors use in real estate. Now, this is just absolutely amazing because you're going to learn how you can acquire multiple cash-generating businesses from owners that want out or from owners that even don't want their businesses anymore, right? There's a lot of people that don't want their businesses anymore, even though the businesses are making a ton of cash. Now, you're going to pretty much take that and turn it into cash and make a lot of money. That's why this system is so unique. So, folks, pull out a pen and paper. I want you to take notes. And if you've got a lot of background noise, do yourself a favor, do us a favor, close the door if you can. I don't want you to miss any of these multi-million-dollar techniques. Plus, when I mute my phone, hopefully it'll make the audio even better for everyone else, all right? So, Mike, I think this has been a long enough intro, so I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to you, my friend.
Well, thank you very much, Ty. I'm really looking forward to cutting everybody some of those big checks. So let me just adjust my headset here and we'll get started. So everybody hang on for just a second. Okay, well, let's just jump into this here real fast and get going with it because I got a lot of stuff I want to cover with everybody. So my goal and what you're going to learn here, and this is very important, is I'm going to show you how to profit with business assets. I'm going to reveal to you what I call my 3 main secrets. These are very important, and I want you as we go through to make sure you take notes on this. I'm also going to cover what I call my zero down formula. I'll talk about funding fundamentals and outsourcing management that really allows you to build what we call our 6-figure profit multiplier. So these are all the things I'm going to be talking about today that you really want to participate in and learn and see exactly what we do. So I want you to make sure that you take a lot of really good notes on this. We're also going to talk about how do you buy a company for little or no money down, how do you get others to run that company for you, and how do you gain access to funding for buying deals, as well as get that 6-figure salary from a business that you own that you didn't put any money into it for the acquisition, or rather you didn't put any of your money. There are deals that you can buy that have absolutely no money into them at all. You can find those, and I'll talk about that. But other times there are companies that do need cash for the acquisition. The challenge and the thing that everybody gets confused about, and when I talk about people, I buy companies using none of my own money. Oh, you can't do that. That's baloney. Nobody's going to sell you a good business that way. That's a bunch of BS. And you know what? It's really the people who are uneducated who make comments like that because they just don't have a clue, because if they did, they would do it. And, I'll also get people who say to me, hey, Mike, you know what? if this were so good, how come everybody isn't doing it? Well, because you didn't know about it. That's why. And it's a very small world, and what we call them. This is really what I'm sharing with you. Something that's called the mergers and acquisition field. And I've learned this as being part of an international team, right? And so what I'm going to be sharing with you is really how to buy these companies using the assets of the business that will allow you to get the capital that you need. So you can borrow against the assets, or the cash can literally come right out of the business itself that allow you to buy that business. So I'm going to really be teaching you how to be what I call kind of like a rainmaker, how you can make money buying and selling companies, how you can also make money by taking these deals that you find and flipping them over to us, and we'll pay you a finder's fee. We'll show you how to do that as well, so you can be kind of a deal maker. We'll talk about that. And I also want to point out that, once your mind expands, once you learn some of the stuff I'm talking about, it'll never go back. And if this resonates with you, I want you to just do me a favor, and I forgot to ask this earlier. Do me a favor, use your question and answer box there, and tell me, is this the business that you want to be in? Can you realize and see yourself owning a business? Now, if you have money to invest in the business, that's great, but I'm talking about using the assets of the business to essentially buy it. So it means it's not using your money. Sometimes it does require money, but it's just not your money. And of course, you could always use outside investors. So, use your question and answer box there. Tell me if you want and like to be in this business where you can buy and sell companies. And you start off with one company first, right? So you can replace your salary, more than replace your salary. And by the way, I never ever recommend anybody quits their job until the businesses that you have purchased is at least 2 to 3 times whatever your normal salary was before you quit. Now, why would I say something like that? It's because I don't want you to get in the position where you have stress thinking about, oh my gosh, I quit my job trying to find a business, and all of a sudden now the mounting bills and everything else are piling up and you don't know what to do. What I want you to do is, you have a business that's throwing off 2 or 3 times your normal salary. I bet you're going to feel pretty darn comfortable. It's okay to quit that other job, even if you're not really spending much time managing the business that you have, and we'll talk about that as well. Now, I do want to point out that one of the things we're looking for 3 new partners who want to play at a higher level, right? Partners who want to find deals and do some of these deals with us. Now, we charge $5,000 for it. And if this resonates with you, or if you want to participate on deals with us and even meet thousands of potential business owners at events just like, the ones that we do, or live events where we train folks, we have a different way for people to participate with us, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. But I do want to just kind of put that out there for some of our live training events. We charge $5,000 for it, but it's one of those things where it's a matter of, are you getting what you really think that it's worth, and are you getting the value and the education and the experience and the hand-holding to guide you through the process of actually finding a company that you can own and that throws off the cash that you need to have your lifestyle be supported in the way that you want it to be. In other words, are you going to make like a 6-figure salary and have somebody else run the company for you? That's how I look at it. I'm also the owner in a couple different private equity groups, and I run Business Master University. That's our education arm. And one of the questions I always like to ask people is, what is your why, right? So let me give you a little bit of background about me, because we all do things that we do for a reason, right? And some people say, well, why do you want, business flipping? Why do you want to get into that? Well, I want to make more money. Okay, why do you want more money? Well, I want to pay off my bills. Okay, you pay off your bills, then what? Well, I want to travel. Okay, then what? Right? It's like, where do you want to go? What is the money designed to do? What do you want to do? Right? Once you take care of the basics, and all of a sudden you turn around and you think, oh man, things could be a little bit different. For me, it's family first. Now that's my daughter Holly up there in the upper left and down below, and that's my son Bryce. And that last photo there, the family one, that's me taking my daughter scuba diving. We went to Bonaire off of Venezuela, and we go scuba diving. So we do a scuba diving trip every year where it's just me and her. So I'd like to do father-daughter trips and father-son trips where it's just one-on-one with them. The second thing that's most important to me from my why is about giving back. Because one of the things I realize is that, folks, I can teach you how to make 6 figures. I can teach you how to make a lot of money. It's easy, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Well, does it require effort? Sure. But the process is simple if you follow it. So once you've made the money, what do you do with it? Me, I want to be able to give back. And so I'm a big proponent of Doctors Without Borders. I'm also now on the board of a company called Boots to Suits. As a veteran myself, I firmly believe in supporting our veterans who go out there and keep our freedoms and all the rights that we have here in America. And what Boots to Suits does is it actually helps veterans who are coming out of the military get into business ownership. So it's a different way of helping them become successful on their own without just going out there and necessarily having to get a job. And the last thing for me is, it's the cool people that I get to meet, like, Sir Richard Branson or Steve Wozniak, a co-founder of Apple. That's me coming out of the Trump helicopter before he came president, by the way. And I think most of you will agree that Trump, before he became president, was a pretty good businessman. He knew what he was doing, and it showed in the amount of stuff that he had accumulated. I'm also, that's me hanging out with Bret Michaels, the lead singer of Poison. It's hanging out on his van. I'm also doing stuff with Kevin Harrington, one of the sharks of Shark Tank, and I get interviewed on magazines and stuff. So it's a pretty cool way of giving back and just sharing the information, showing people how they can change their lives and business acquisitions, mergers and acquisitions, business flipping, however you want to talk about it, is the way to do it. Very, very few people know the things I'm about to share with you, and even fewer people actually apply it. So I'm looking for people that want to apply it, and we have what we call our business flipping mastery, where we actually do our live events. So we do have events. We do them 3 times a year. So every quarter we do every quarter. Excuse me. Yeah, what is that? 4 times a year. Every quarter. If I'd learned my math, right, it makes you wonder. We do them every quarter. So they're coming around. So if you have any interest in coming to one of our live events, just reach out to us. We'll let you know where the date and location is at. So here's a question for you. Are you investing your time, or are you putting in time? Let's talk about that for just a quick second, and then we'll start jumping into stuff. Putting in time, in my opinion, equals mindless work. Investing your time is actively and mindfully paying attention and doing the activities that you need to do that will yield success to you in your business. So this makes me ask another question. Have you ever wondered what it might be like to kind of have that Midas touch, to know what companies to look for, to be able to go into those companies and make them better? You take a company that's good and you make it great. I don't take companies, by the way, that are failing, that are in bankruptcy. I don't do any of those deals. I don't want them. That's too much effort. There are lots of good deals we can get access to right now that don't require any or very little capital to get into. But because I know how to go in and kind of have that Midas touch to turn things into gold, and I know who to outsource the work to, because I'm not an expert in very many things, but I do know lots of people who are really smart at doing the things that they do. But it gives you that Midas touch. So imagine that you had that Midas touch to go into companies. Would it give you the ability to, for instance, say, you're sitting on the beach there, and you have checks coming in from your company that support your lifestyle, regardless of where in the world you're at, because somebody else is running the company for you. It gives you the freedom to travel and make money whether you're working or not. For me, that's a big one. I like that one. So here's another question for you. So before I talk about this slide, let me just ask this question, and I do ask that you use your question and answer box there and give me a little bit of feedback. Would you tell me first off what state you're from, and what do you do for a living? What's your regular job, your job, right? What do you do? Are you a real estate investor? Are you an engineer? Are you a doctor? You're a receptionist? You stay at home? Mom or dad? Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. I'm just curious as to what you do. And so just use your question and answer box, and I'm saying, okay, there's a couple of real estate investors. There's a business owner already. There's a doctor, dentist. There's 2 lawyers. So that's cool. Chiropractor. Okay. Business consultants, a lot of consultants there. A couple more real estate investors. There's a stay-at-home mom. Cool. That's not an easy job, by the way, I'll tell you that. So there's a lot of different people. So yeah, we're from all over the country. See, we've got one from, where's that? In Sydney? Okay, hey, welcome. That's a long ways away. Thank you for being here. Appreciate that. Okay, so let's jump into this. I was just curious. I wanted to get a little bit more information about you guys. So why buy a business? To me, it's about freedom. But what does freedom mean to you? Now, this is not a get-rich-quick. This is a get-rich-smart strategy. Now, we've all heard about Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the book, and how the rich dad had one way of thinking and the poor dad had another way of thinking. Well, I'm going to share with you a rich dad's philosophy in this presentation today. Not only that, but how many of you have ever heard of, for instance, Robert Allen's multiple streams of income? Well, the only way you can have multiple streams of income is you have to have assets. And that's the one key thing. But the one thing that I didn't share with you is how you acquire these assets. I'm going to show you exactly how to acquire these assets and how you can become in control of what I call the growth factor of that asset. So you're not relying on, for instance, let's say the stock market or what interest rates are doing, going up or down, or even the job market. You can control your own destiny. So for some folks, having a business or buying a business means, having a big dynasty, or it means like having lots of cash that's sitting in the bank, or having assets that just go up and up and up in value. Well, the question often comes up is, well, why now? Well, I've been buying companies since the late 80s, and it's never existed the way that it has right now, which has made this the perfect opportunity. I'm going to go through 5 different things here to show you, and I'll also cover different case studies. Right. So the first thing is that credit has dried up. It's harder. It's easier now than it was 5 years ago, but not as easy as it was 10 years ago. So we know when we had that real estate crisis and everything literally just tanked, and I lost access to credit lines, just like I'm sure a whole lot of you lost access to credit lines. And now it's harder to get credit more than it's been. We had that real estate crisis. We've also had increased competition, both online and offline. So there's more people out there willing to copy what you're doing and compete with you in the same market. So you need to know how to market and do it better. We also have more bankruptcies. There's more bankruptcies today, both personal and corporate bankruptcies, than any time in our history ever. So companies are trying and they're failing, but they don't know the secret sauce and how to make these things work. We also have the aging baby boomer population. I'm sure you all have probably heard about it, and I think there's a good portion of you that are probably in the baby boomer generation here because you're looking for something a little different. You're probably a little bit dissatisfied with the job that you have. It's not giving you what it is that you thought it would, and you want more time and more freedom. You want more money, of course, and you're tired of working as hard as you are. So one of the things I want to point out, right, according to the Small Business Administration, is that there's over 10,000 baby boomers a day that are retiring in just the United States alone. That's 10,000 a day. And 18% of them have a small business that they need to sell right now. Right now they need to sell 18% of that 10,000 a day. But the sad factor is that 85% of that 18%, 85%, they just shut their doors and they walk away. Even though the company's profitable, even though it's making money, even though they have employees, they simply walk away because they want to retire. Now, let me give you just a quick one, right? I'm working on this deal right now. It's a nutraceutical company, meaning that it sells some type of a vitamin-related type product. And the business owner, he has several other businesses, and this one, it's just like, it might, it nets $240,000 a year. And he's like, Mike, it's a hassle to me. I'm just going to shut it down because I want to focus on my other businesses, which are making much more money. We are literally, and he's tentatively agreed. And he said, Mike, okay, I'll let you just take it over, and then you can buy me out a couple years later. Well, this is what I refer to as a lease option technique. I am going to take over his business today, and I'm going to pay him a certain amount of cash each month, which will apply towards my down payment when I buy the business a couple years down the road. And I'm not putting a dime into this deal. I step into a company that's making $240,000 a year and freaking profit. That's a good deal, a really good deal. So if you think about it, whoops, sorry, I went way too fast there. I hit the wrong button. If you think about it, buying businesses doesn't mean I have to put my credit on the line because, for instance, in that deal, I'm not going to sign personally on the deal. I'm going to take it over, make a monthly payment out of the profit, and have it apply towards my down payment a year, 2, 3, 4 years later. Depends on what I want to do. I'm really probably going to go for 3. I'll shoot for 5, and I'll settle for 3. This way it gives me plenty of time to build up a sizable down payment. Anyway, let's kind of move on. So why now, right? Let's talk about this a little bit more. 40%, and let me get my my highlighter pen. Only 40% of small businesses out there are profitable. A lot of people will run a business, they'll start a business, and they say, Mike, I'm going to do a startup. Okay, great. What are you going to do in your startup? Well, in their startup, they have to wear every single hat. They have to be the marketer. They have to be the salesperson. They have to be the engineer. They have to be the legal team. They have to be the person that empties the trash. They have to do all of that stuff. Well, the sad statistics is that 50% of businesses fail within their first year, and 95% are dead and gone within 5 years. They're out of business because they don't know how to grow the company. I don't know about you, And I used to be a serial entrepreneur where I would start businesses, and I like starting business because it was exciting. But you know what? I realized I have to do all the work. I have to put up all the money. And yeah, you start a business sometimes because you say, well, Mike, it's not going to cost me much money if I start it and I do it slow. So this, because I don't have, $200,000, I can't put that money in. Even though over time you're probably going to spend that much money in order to get your business to be a $1 million business. You're going to have to reinvest in the company, reinvest. Well, the reality is that it's much easier to buy an existing business that already has everything in place than it is for you to start one from scratch and build it up. It's much easier. And that's what we're talking about today. And by the way, I don't invest in startups. I have no interest. It doesn't matter to me how great it is. And, let's just talk about a statement. Is that I have people come up, Mike, I've got $1 billion idea. And what the funniest part is when I say, well, really tell me about, I can't tell you about it. You might steal it. I just start laughing. And I'm like, okay, well, your business is never going to get off the ground. And somebody else is going to figure it out because you know what? There are lots of smart people in the world and we figure out things. And guess what? Somebody else is going to figure out the idea because you're not willing to share it. Either way, though, I'm not investing my money in a startup because I don't want to have to do everything and figure out the risk because statistically 95% of those companies are going to be gone in 5 years. Why not buy one that's already running and making money? It's so much easier. So what makes this different? Well, I think the easiest way to explain it is to make a comparison between house flipping and business flipping. So let's make a comparison. So some of you have probably heard that more millionaires are made in real estate. Well, I want to show you why that isn't. Well, you can certainly make real estate and make millions of dollars with it. I want to show you why that's a lot of effort. If you follow what I'm about to teach you, how it might change your mind and create you even more money. So let's kind of go through these numbers. So, and you've probably seen some of these house flipping shows on TV. Somebody goes in, they buy the house, and all of a sudden they made $100,000 out of the house. But they also had to dump in a lot of cash in order to buy that house, and they had to do a lot of work. And did they make the money fast? Yes, they did. But let's kind of look at it and see what happens. So let's take a nice little small house. Let's say it's $100,000 on the value for fair market value of property. You can still buy real estate today like I did back in the 80s. So I've been doing real estate since the late 80s. I've been buying companies since, since the mid 80s. I've been doing real estate since the late 80s. I've been buying companies because I realized, it's a lot easier for me to make money buying companies. But I started in real estate back in the day. And so today you can also still buy real estate for no money down. So let's say you buy this house and you renovate the house, you get all fixed up, and you turn around and you rent it, and you make $200 above whatever it costs to own the property. So $200 above the mortgage, the taxes, insurance, everything else. You make $200 a month. So for most real estate investors, $200 a month positive cash flow is a pretty good deal. So let's say that 3 years down the road, you sell the property and you sell it for $130,000. Well, we look at this $200 a month in cash flow, right? Times 12 months, times 3 years. So over that same 3 year period, you make $7,200 in cash flow. So your $7,200 in cash flow plus your $30,000 in profit, you make $37,200 on that small $100,000 house. Now, is that a good deal? And the answer is yes, it's a great deal. Now, the challenge, though, is that you have to go and do another house to make another $37,000, but you made $37,000. You had a little bit of risk in there, not a ton, but you had a little bit. So now let's compare this against business flipping. So I can go out and buy $1 million business. I can do it the same way where I can buy the business with no money down out of pocket. And I want you to write this down. Let me give you a couple of numbers I want you to keep in mind. My ideal business that I look for is a business that's doing $1 million a year in sales and does 30% per year in profit. So if it's doing $1 million a year, 30% of that is $300,000. $300,000 divided by 12 months happens to be $25,000 a month. So I can buy that business, no money down, and make $25,000 a month out of it. Now, let's say down the road, I go in, and my model is I want to go into a business and I want to triple the value of the business. I want to sell it and I want to triple it and sell it for 3 times more. So 3 years down the road, I sell it for $3 million. If we look at our $25,000 a month times 12 months times 3 years, we have $900,000 in cash flow over that same 3 year period. So we have $900,000, I should say, plus the $2 million. So we take the $3 million, we subtract out the $1 million I paid for it because I still have to pay it off. So it gives me $2 million balance. So I have $2.9 million profit on a business for the same amount of time or period. So over the same 3 years, what's happening is for the same period of time, I know I'm kind of messing this up, so let me try to say it a different way. Over that same 3-year period, I'm going to make, well, here, I know I have it here somewhere. There it is. I will make $2,860,000 more than the house in the same amount of time. Meaning that I'm going to spend about the same amount of time that it took to find this property, to manage the property, renovate it, to rent it out and deal with that, and then sell the property. I do the same thing over here with this business. I make the same amount, or using the same amount of time, but I make $2,867,000 and more in profit. Another way of looking at it is that the average real estate investor is going to have to do 97 houses to make the same amount of money. I don't know about you, but I don't think that the average real estate investor will do 97 houses in their lifetime, much less in 3 years. 3 years, that's a lot of work. You watch these shows, you know exactly how much that work is, and if you're real estate investing, you know how much work it takes to find and flip deals. Guess what? One business throws off to you $900,000 in cash flow. That's money that you can live off of and have the lifestyle that everybody else envies. So who's this for? This is for you if you're in real estate. This is for you if you're tired of your 9-to-5 job. This is for you if you always wanted to buy a business but just didn't know how. This is for you if you thought it would be cool to be the Wolf of Wall Street, kind of like that movie. This is for you if you have the desire to be a mover and shaker. This is for you if you love talking to people. And this is for you if you ever do any consulting or sales. This is absolutely for you. But who's this not for? This is not for folks who are broke or struggling financially. And the reason I talk about that is you go out and you buy a business. If you're in that mindset, you're going to take all the profits out of the business to pay some short-term bills, but you're going to cause a long-term problem in your business, and I don't want you to do that. This is also not for the whiners and complainers. The people say, oh, it can't be done, or that must be illegal, or that, if that was so good, everybody else would be doing it, or that may work over there, but it won't work here. We all know folks that are like that. Yeah, and it's also not for people that have perpetual questions and never take action, or for those folks who want something for nothing. And I don't mean it, and don't confuse it with the no money down. No money down doesn't mean I'm getting it for nothing. So let's talk about what's the volume or number of deals that are actually available out there. So for instance, I did this search and I typed in Colorado business for sale, and there were 1,018 Colorado businesses that were found for sale. Did the same thing in Nevada. That came up with 475. I just did a generic Google search and typed in the phrase business for sale. And look at that number. I'll circle it for you just in case. Right? 1,560,000,000 search results. Now that number will fluctuate from day to day, and sure, are there duplicates in it? Sure, but you know what? Bottom line is, do you think that there's enough deals that you could do this from anywhere in the world? And the answer is yes. So I find deals from all over the place, and so do my students. I do want to just add this, even if I'm doing a deal in another country, which we're working on deals in different countries, the only thing that separates one business from another, right, is the product or service is the only thing that they sell at the front end that changes. But the way they operate is the same. So most companies don't know how to actually run it properly. They can take it to a certain level, but they don't know how to triple the profit from there, which is something that we're really good at and that we'll teach you. They don't know how to get there. So the process is the same. The ideas are the same. The way that we grow the companies are the same. Every company, every successful company operates the same way. The same underlying foundation of how they operate is the same. The only thing that changes is the product or service that they sell. So I want to tell you this. I've done a lot of things right, but I've also done a lot of things wrong. So after doing this for 21 years, I figured out how to get past what we call that 51% ownership myth. I don't need to own 51% of a company. I also know the owners will pay you to take their equity. I also know that you don't need money or credit to buy a business, and that you can do this from any country in the world, as I just talked about. And I discovered this the hard way, and you get the chance here to cheat and get the easy way of doing it. The hard way, the old way, is begging people to sell me their company, and I absolutely hated that. Or to try unsuccessfully to borrow money to go to buy something, or to try to figure out how to run, grow, and scale the business, or how to learn all the aspects of the business. And realistically, I don't have time. If I'm working a job or I'm trying to run another business, I don't have the time to figure this stuff out. I just don't. can you ever imagine what it would be like where someday you own a successful money producing company that allows you to live the lifestyle you want rather than have a job that you have to do every single day? One where you've achieved your goals. What would your life look like? What would your spouse say? Or how would your kids look at you when they see their mom or their dad at home and you're making twice as much money as you were making before? I think that's pretty exciting. I would think you think the same thing. Come on, clicker. Let's go. There we go. So do you want the easy way that practically guarantees your results? Well, here are some of the deals that we're working on or that we've actually completed, and we didn't actually leave our houses in order to do any of these. So these are some of the categories that we're working. We're in the cannabis industry, we're in boating, we're in military technology, we're in cryptocurrencies, we're in professional hockey rinks, we're in medical devices, we're in software as a service company. You know what? We're in almost any industry that you could think of. We're nutraceuticals, trucking, legal, medical. I mean, you name it. And folks, it's all over the place. You just have to figure out where you want to start, pick it, and then go for it. Now, I do want to also mention this, that we walk you through specific deals here that are getting us ownership and profits right now. Our results are not typical, and the average person who attends any type of training typically gets zero results. Why? Because they don't do any work. However, we're happy to show you exactly what's working for us, and we're going to do that for free. So this is not for get-rich-quick people. It's not for the work-from-home biz-op people, and it's definitely not for amateurs. So let me reveal what I call the 3 secrets. So secret number 1 is having you be the deal maker. Now, the deal maker, I want to share a couple things here, right? So, do you remember the movie Pretty Woman with Richard Gere and Julia Roberts, where Richard Gere was the big tycoon guy, and he went out and he bought these billion-dollar companies? What he did is he leveraged the assets that the company had. He came up with the money, and he bought the company, and then he broke it apart and sold off the pieces. He could make more money by breaking off because the pieces were worth more than the whole. And it's also about thinking about having short terms versus big wins, right? Short term wins. So, some people, let's compare real estate, right? I gave you that example earlier, the real estate deal versus the business deal. A real estate deal, right? Small little house, doing a conversion, I make 30, 40 grand. Okay, that's a lot of money for the average person. That's a lot of money. It can make a big difference in their life. But what if you spent the same amount of time that you did on finding that one real estate deal, you found it on a business that instead of making you $37,000 over 3 years, makes you $900,000 in just cash flow, but overall $2.86 million over that same 3 years? That's a big win, right? So I want you to kind of think about that. And so who else is kind of doing this are what we call business brokers. Business brokers, they make a lot of money by helping people sell their companies. So what I wanted you to think about is how do you get into this business as a deal maker, right? So the old model would be to save money or borrow money, which kind of is a bad idea for me back then because my credit wasn't perfect and I had no experience. Nobody would lend me money because I didn't know what I was going to do. The new model is I get companies to chase me instead. And what I do is I connect the dots and they pay me to take their equity. So they bring me in because I make relationships. I know people that can actually make these companies grow. And by the way, listen to what I just said. I know people who can make these companies grow. I did not say that I know how to make these companies grow. I know people who know how to make these companies grow because I don't want a job. I don't want to work in these companies. Let me give you an example. This was a throat spray company where we went in and the lady was selling the company for $150,000. She was doing gross revenues of $115,000 and she had a net profit of $65,000 a year. And she had debts in the business of $40,000. Now, when I talked to the lady, her statement to me was that, Mike, I'm not a business owner. I don't know how to run a business. And she'd been running this business for about 13 years. And she also had multiple products that she had, but she didn't know how to get any of them really to market. She had this one throat spray. It was successful. It's making some money. But she's in debt. She doesn't know what to do. At the end of the year, she doesn't even think she makes $65,000. We looked at it and said, okay, it looks like you're making $65,000, but she spends it as soon as she gets it. So at the end of the year, when she looks at it and says, well, I don't have any money left in the bank, therefore I must not be making any profit. So she wanted out of the business, and she had $40,000 in debt on the business. And I said, okay, look, I'm interested in buying the business. We structured out a deal that went like this. I said, I'll buy this business for $15,000. And I said, but here's how we need to do this. I'm going to do $3,000 now, and I'm going to do $3,000 a month for the next 4 months, and I'll attempt to get rid of the debts for you. I didn't say I would guarantee. I didn't say I would assume. I said I would attempt to get rid of them. I'll use my best effort. Well, one of the companies I've had in the past was a debt settlement company. So we used to do corporate and consumer debt settlement. So we used to do a lot of business, and I'm very familiar with how to settle debts, and it's not that difficult. So in the span of about, I believe it was somewhere around 30 to 45 minutes, maybe an hour. I'm not exactly sure how long it took, but it took a couple of phone calls with creditors that she had, and we were able to get the creditors to accept zero for their debt and allow us to still buy from them. So we bought this business from her for $3,000 down and agreed to pay her another $3,000 a month for the next 4 months. Where did we come up with the additional $4,000 each month that was needed? Where do you think that money came from? It came out of the net profit. She's already making a profit, so we didn't have to come up with money out of pocket. We just used the future profits of the business to pay the money that we need to pay her. And in the 5th month, guess what I did in the 5th month? I paid back that $3,000 that we already put into the business. So I did this with one of our other student partners, and we paid it back. So now we're into the business with no money down. We got the debt of the business of $40,000. That got wiped out. Now, here's something that's really important. I want to give you some numbers so that you can figure stuff out. Most businesses that are under $3 million will typically sell between 1 and 3 times the net profit. So right here, it'll sell between 1 and 3 times the net profit. I'm using a mouse, so it's not really pretty, but I think you're okay with it. So it'll sell for 1 to 3 times. So it'll sell anywhere from $65,000. We round that up to $70,000. 3 times 7 is $210,000. So it sells somewhere between $65,000 and $210,000. She's selling it for $150,000. We bought it for $15,000 with $3,000 down and payments for the rest. And the 5th month, we got our money back. So we're into this deal pretty quick. But here's something that's important. This $40,000 in debt, because we wiped it out, well, that's worth a 1 to 3 multiple in valuation. So if this looked like this is, right, 65,000 goes into 150, let's say it's 2. So the reality, right, that's round up to 70, it's really close. We'll just use a 2. So the reality is, what did I increase the value of this business by just getting the debt wiped out? If we use the same multiple of 2, I increased the value of the business by not just getting rid of the debt, but I increased the value by $80,000. I could turn around and sell the thing literally weeks later for $80,000 more than what I paid for it. That'd be a pretty good deal. So I could have quick turned it or quick flipped it, but we chose not to. Why? Because we're now in 350 different stores nationwide, including every Guitar Center, and we're expanding internationally. So we've got a really good process, and that company is just growing by leaps and bounds. Why sell something if it's really growing? Now, you can, if you need the money, you could do that. But for me, I'm not running the business at all. I'm not in there day to day. I'm not worrying about it. I get feedback on it. I get updates on the business, but I don't run the business, which is exactly how I want to be. That's me. You may choose to run the company, but that's your choice. You can run it if you want to. And by the way, if you've got a company that's local to you and you're running it, so for instance, the throat spray, it's not local to me at all. I'm not interested in running it, but if you do want to run it, I recommend you go in, you figure out how stuff is done, so you know whether or not your employers are BSing you on how things get done. Because I know that in every company there's always some bad apples, and you need to get rid of some bad apples and bring in some good quality people in order to take the company from the level where it is to where you want it to go, which in my case, I want at least a 3x multiple on that business. So here's a simple step process that I want you to look for. So write these down. So step 1, we're going to locate the business. Step 2, we're going to negotiate it. Step 3, we're going to do our due diligence. Is this a good deal? Do the numbers add up? For instance, if it does online sales, is the merchant account, the credit card statements, does it match up? Does it match up with the deposits went in the bank? And does it match up the tax return? If it does, okay, the numbers are probably pretty close. Now we have to just dig in a little bit more. Then we're going to, step 4 is to fund the business, whether it's using the assets of the business itself or outside money or delayed payments, whatever you want to do. 5th step is we're going to close on the business. 6 is we're going to grow it. And then 7 is you're going to cash your checks. That's what you're going to do. So I want to show you this screen, right? We got different size money trees. One of the things I think really important is this. This is one of those things that you really should write down. Well, I'm talking about buying a company, $1 million company, no money down, no credit, and quitting your job, right? That's kind of the basics of what we're talking about. I do not want you to buy a company. Now, the reason I say that is because I want you to actually buy 4 companies. And let me put this over here. I want you to buy 4 companies. And now the reason I say that is because you may see the big tree here. That you got a big tree, a small tree, a medium tree, and a smaller company. Small trees. So each one of these trees represents a company. So if you have 4 companies, well, you can't work in any one of them. If you buy only one, well, you may have the urge or the tendency or the desire to work in that one company to solve a problem. And I don't want you to do that. What I want you to do is I want you to be like the chairman of the board of a $1 billion company where you have multiple divisions. You're not going to work in any one of these companies. You're essentially going to make sure the people who are under you are doing what they're supposed to do. Now, a true business owner, when you reach ultimate wealth, your businesses are throwing off cash to you on a regular basis. So imagine you have 4 companies or 4 giant money trees that are throwing off cash to you on a regular basis, and you're sitting on the beach, regardless of where you are, the companies are paying you for everything. You're making the cash, and somebody else manages the businesses for you. That's the lifestyle. So this was a letter that came in from Jim, and he says, Mike, I found a bail bonds company not too far away from me. I got meaning 100% owner financing on the business. It's a profitable business, and he couldn't be happier. I mean, he didn't put a dime into the deal. So secret number 2 is to be the deal partner. So secret 1 was to be a deal maker. Secret 2 is to be the deal partner. So what I mean by that is there are 3 reasons why most people like me, probably like you as well, should never do any of the work. Going the wrong way, hit the wrong button. You're too busy, so you don't answer your own support calls, right? Do you answer every marketing and sales call? You may answer certain things in your business on the phone, but why would you do that? You're too scared, or it's just bad positioning, right? Bad positioning meaning that it's not good. If you're the owner of the company, why are you answering a sale call, or why are you answering an accounting issue? Because sooner or later, people are going to figure out, oh, wait, you're a really small company. You don't want to do that. And that's not what your best skills are for. You should be running the business. So let's take a look at how does this work. Come on, there we go. You hire a team of business experts. You can retain the existing team. You don't have to be the business expert. You can just be the management expert. And you build the value of the business. So let me kind of explain what each of these means. So you hire a team of business experts. What I mean by that, it doesn't mean that you bring them in on a full-time, long-term employee basis. No, you go out there, you get the best people. Let's say I need to create an online presence, online web pages. And here's something I find really, really interesting. Is most businesses don't know how to market online at all. They don't know what an opt-in page is. They don't know what tripwires are. They don't know what ethical bribes are, right? And I'll just explain ethical bribe to you so that you know that it's legal. Is you have gone to a website and you say, hey, they say, give me your name and your email, and I'll give you this free report, or I'll give you this free audio, or I'll give you this free training, or something like that. You signed in and you got something in return. That's an ethical bribe to get you to get in. So I can hire the people who know how to create those things. I don't have to do the work, because if I'm not an expert at doing it, why do I want to spend the time to figure it out? I know people that try to figure this stuff out, and if you want to, that's great, but to me that makes you a startup, and I don't want a startup. Now, I can retain the existing team if they're good. Sometimes they are. Sometimes they're people that I need to let go. I don't have to be the expert. What I have to do is be able to tell people what I want them to do and let them go do it. Now, keep in mind, if we got $1 million company, it's doing 30% in profit, or $300,000 a year in profit, do I have the profit in the business to hire the experts to make it grow? And the answer is yes. So that allows me to build the value of the business. And one of the things I love is that I don't personally have to work in the business, really, because I don't really know how, and I don't want to. Do I want to know the basics? Sure. But I don't really want to know how to run the business, because then I've got a job, and I don't want a job. Even if it's a high-paying job, it's still a job. I want to travel. I want to do things with my kids. I want to work on more deals, because that's what floats my boat. That's what makes me excited. That's why I want to do the business. I also want to point out this. We pay referral fees. So listen to this. If you go out and you find a deal, somebody that says, hey, Mike, or says to you that they want to sell their business, send the deal over to us. So we have a deal submission website. You can submit the deal to us. We take over. We contact that business owner. We negotiate a deal with the business, and we'll pay you anywhere from $5,000 to $20,000 just for finding the deal for us and submitting it on our website. Now we tell you what the basic guidelines are, what we're looking for. Pretty simple. You do a little bit of stuff, have a conversation with. If they're interested in selling, pass them over, and you're done. And we'll pay you a finder's fee as soon as we buy the company, not after we've grown it and resell it, but as soon as we buy it, with the company, you get a check as well. So I think that's a pretty good deal. Well, by the way, how many of you you like the idea of getting, just use your question and answer box, you like the idea of getting up to 20 grand for a deal? Would you just tell me if that is that a way that you might want to start, or do you prefer to buy your own company? Which one do you want to go? You want to own your own company, or would you rather refer a deal to us and we'll pay you a finder's fee? And I'm seeing, yep, okay, they like the 20,000. A couple people, well, I want more than 20 grand. Well, I will tell you this, because that brings up a good point. We're going to pay you up to a $20,000 finder's fee. You need to know, and I'm full disclosure, we're going to make a lot more money than you will. Why? Because we bought the company, we grew the company, and we resold the company. Now, it's going to take us on average 2 or 3 years to do that, but we're going to make cash flow along the way. But you got your fee because you found it. You didn't have to do anything else, and then you can move on to the next deal. So we're still paying you more than anybody else in the marketplace on any other types of deals for just finding deals. We're paying you quite substantial. So if you want to do more or you want to earn more, you have to do more work. And I see there's a lot of people here saying also that they want to own the company and keep all the profit. And some people are asking if there's a way to get both. And yeah, there's a way to get both. I'll talk about that a little bit later, where you get equity and a finder's fee. I'll talk about that a little bit later. So here's a question I have for you. What dreams do you have? What are your dreams? Do you want to travel around the world? Do you want to go on a cruise around the world? Do you want to be kind of like Robin Williams was in that movie RV? I love that movie when it came out several years ago, where he was taking an RV in places where it never should go. I loved RV because I like to take my family and the dog, and we hop in the RV and we go travel around the country, and I could just experience everything. I get to experience it with my kids and have a really good time. Well, maybe you also want to be one of those folks that wants to give back to your community. For me, I want to serve others first. So it does mean giving back to my community, helping with charities, helping with my time, helping with money if it's needed, building schools, building orphanages, whatever it needs to be, helping with hospitals. I don't know, as long as I can make a difference in the world, because folks, it's not about the money. You can't take this money with you. Yes, you can make enough money to support yourself and change your lifestyle so you can have that lifestyle you've always dreamed about. Absolutely. I'm not talking about having a high-paying job. That is not what I'm talking about at all. What I'm talking about is having a lifestyle that so that you can do the things you want to do when you want to do them with the people you want to do them with, and the money is no longer the object. So really, you have that freedom. The thing I asked about earlier, you get that freedom all over again to do what you want. So here's another letter that came in. This came in from Robert. He said, Mike, we just acquired 8 Amoco service centers funded by the corporate headquarters. We should now own all 18 centers free and clear in less than 18 months. So he didn't put any money in the deal. They got funded by the corporate headquarters for him to take them over because he knew a little bit about managing companies, not running and working in the Amoco center. But he took over all 8 of them, and he's going to own them free and clear in less than 18 months. Not a bad way to go. Here's another one. This came in from Joe. He says, doing exactly what Mike said, step by step, I found a medical device company that needed help. I negotiated a deal and got a chunk of equity and a percentage of the gross revenue. It really works if you just follow what Mike says. And let me point out something, right? He not only did he get equity in the company with no money out of his pocket, but he got a percentage of the gross revenue. Means for every item that they sell, he gets paid. Not on the net, right? There's a big difference between net and gross. He gets paid on net. So if you think kind of like Shark Tank, the TV Shark Tank, or Dragon's Den, for our European folks that are listening, because it's called Dragon's Den over there, just like the sharks, right? He's being a shark, learning how to do it. And that's what we're trying to structure you, is show you how to structure these deals as well. Well, secret number 3 is what I call being the strategic owner. Now, I can make more money by owning a company than by being an employee or flipping real estate. I want to be the strategic owner. So how does this work? This is about having what we call multiple streams of income, where I'm able to leverage time for money. I don't want to work hours for a simple paycheck. I want to leverage time, so I'm getting multiples of things, and I'm building the business as an asset to sell or create long-term profits. So let me give you an example of this, and this ties into what I had mentioned earlier, what we call our 6-figure multiplier effect. So in our 6-figure multiplier effect, what we're doing is we're going to take a company that's doing well. So let's say a company that And by the way, I'm not interested in buying a company without having to come up with a lot of money. So this was a company that was in the credit and education market. And so what we're doing is we're doing something that's called a hybrid IPO slash merger. And a hybrid IPO, we're helping them go public with an existing company that essentially wants to merge with them. So they do what's called a private share swap and a public share swap. So they swap shares. The owner of the business still gets to run the business just like they always have, gets all the benefits, gets all the salary and everything else, but now they get to cash out today for the value of if they took it public without actually having to worry about having to run it as a public entity. They get all the benefits of it without any of the hassles. This is about using relational capital. We structured the deal for 10% equity where we would get cash and stock in the business. Now, this company was doing $8 million a year in net profit, and the hybrid IPO model is being structured at a 6 multiple of that. So that's a $48 million IPO. So the owners of the business get a cash out, right? So imagine, somebody has a very successful company. Would you rather have $8 million a year in profit, or would you rather get $48 million in cash and stock and then still have the company that you can run and still get all the bonuses and everything else? Most people say, yeah, I'll take the $48 million now, and then I'll take the cash, stock, and bonuses and everything that I'm doing anyway. So we structured to get 10% of that, which you guys can do the math. That's pretty profitable. You can do the same thing. Here's something to keep in mind. I don't expect you to know how to do this, okay? There's a lot of people. There's no one person that can do a hybrid IPO. That's about 100 people that's involved in doing that process. What I know is I know how to put the pieces together so you could contact our team. If you got a company that's doing over $10 million a year in gross sales, actually it can be as low as a company doing only $500,000 a year in net profit. So we're actually able to do it for much smaller companies to help them really capture the profit and grow their company even faster. So we can do a company's only $500,000 a year in net profit. You find companies like that, well, guess what? That's a perfect opportunity where you could partner with us to do the deal so we can share in the equity. We can share in our relational capital with you and make the deals work. This is another one from Aaron. Found a advertising company that she got 75% ownership with no money out of her pocket. The owner's staying on to continue to run the company for her. Wow, this stuff works, and it really does. Here's another one. This one is from Mel. Said, I found a company in health and wellness, bought it for 100% of the company for only $3,000 out of my pocket. And the company even paid me to take that back. Now we're expanding internationally. So here's a question I want to ask you, right? This is about vision and purpose. What is your vision? What do you want to do? You can go out and you can buy a company. That's great. I can show you how to make a lot of money. But I mentioned this in the very beginning. But then what? After that, what do you do from there? Vision and purpose is, a person who introduces or creates new ideas or methods. That's an innovator. And we also have on this call one of two types of people. We may even have both people. You got the cynic and you got the skeptic. And there's a difference between a cynic and a skeptic. A cynic is somebody that goes out and they find every reason why something can't possibly work and why it won't work and why it may work there but it won't work here. They're going to find every reason to turn it off and say it's not for them. A skeptic says, okay, I just need more answers to my questions so I can get started. So you have to decide, which one are you? Are you a cynic or are you a skeptic? Now, we all have those cynics in our lives. We all know who those people are. They always complain about something. They're always whining that they have and never have something positive to say. And you know what? You have to try to stay away from those people. You have to decide which one you want to be. Are you going to be a cynic or are you going to be a skeptic? Actually, that's a good one. Do me a favor. Use your question answer box. And I appreciate your honesty. Tell me, which one are you? Are you a cynic or are you a skeptic? Are you a cynic who says there's nothing that could possibly work? There's something, there's always something wrong. There's always some kind of hidden thing. There's always something wrong. Or are you a skeptic that says, you know what? I just need more information so I can really get started. And I'm seeing actually everybody here saying that they're a skeptic, so that's cool. Nobody's admitting to being a cynic, and that's good. And hopefully the cynics were like, nope, that'll never work. That must be BS, and they're never even getting on the call. And you know what? They're going to stay the way they are and keep getting the same results they've always gotten. So, the other part I want to talk about, for vision and purpose is entrepreneurs are really the biggest catalyst of positive social change locally, nationally, and globally. Imagine owning businesses that make a difference and give back to the community. Remember, you're not going to take this money with you. So make a difference in the world. Make the world a better place tomorrow than when you were in it today. That's my philosophy. Do it a little bit different. Here's another one. This is a guy, Kostas. He's actually in Greece, right? Works in other countries. Says, using the lessons I've learned, I've been able to get equity in 7 companies. These are all 7-figure and 8-figure companies. I did them all with 0 money down. You need to do everything you can to be part of your team. Thanks again. So that was Kostas in Greece doing deals over there. So what have you learned so far? Learn about how to profit with business assets, the 3 secrets, right? There was the deal maker, the deal creator, and the strategic owner. We also talked about the 0 down formula, how to apply those different deals, some of the basic funding fundamentals. We talked about that, and outsourcing management, right? And we also even covered the 6-figure multiplier effect. The key ingredient here to making all of this work more than anything else is really this one. It's about finding people who you can outsource this stuff to. So if you find deals, you can reach out to us, right? Use our stuff. You become part of our team. Guess what? We'll show you who we use that can help these companies grow. You can then apply, the 0 down formula. You can apply the 6-figure multiplier effect. All of these things allow you to get the business that you want. And there's lots of deals that are out there. They're easy to buy with no money. It just depends if you want to take the deal or not. I want to talk about something that's called disposable income. And let's just talk about the fact that, most of you that are on this call here, you get a paycheck each month and a percentage goes to movies, you're going out to dinner, et cetera. Instead of blowing on things that are going to fade away over time and you lose it, I'm asking you to really just make an investment in yourself, because the money you put into this is going to turn into more money. And yes, I'm sure you probably already thought about, there's training and stuff that goes along with this. And you know what? I'm not going to disappoint you. There is, because I can only talk so much over an hour or so. And if you've ever read the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, he talks about the difference between assets and liabilities. He says that poor people, they buy liabilities. They buy cars, they buy boats, they buy anything that you put your money in and it ultimately disappears over time. Well, the rich people, what they do is they put their money into investments that actually turns into more money. And all I'm asking you to do is turn some of your income into an investment as opposed to a liability and something that is going to take money away from you. Well, let's go back to this paycheck thing for a second. You get paid a paycheck every 2 weeks. Then you go out and you pay your bills, you use your disposable income, and the money disappears, right? Well, what happens 2 weeks later? Well, you get paid again. The money replenishes itself. And the cool thing is that it always replenishes itself. So every 2 weeks, it comes back again, over and over again, right? So let me ask you a question. Does that happen with your time as well? Like when you miss your daughter's or son's soccer game because you were at the office, did you get that time back? It doesn't, does it? Well, money replenishes every 2 weeks, but your time, it never comes back. So what I'm asking you to do is to take a resource that replenishes itself every 2 weeks and invest it in something that's going to save you a ton of time, because you can go learn this stuff. You can do what I did. You can hire people. You can knock on lots of doors and scramble for money. You can do all that stuff. But what I'm trying to do with this program, this system that we've created for you, folks, is I'm going to try to save you a bunch of time. Okay, it's very simple. And because you can't get your time back, I'm asking you to take money which is replenishable every 2 weeks, and in 2 weeks you're going to have that money back again anyway, so it doesn't even really matter. And to do that, to help you save time, and that's what we're trying to do. So in the past hour, I've been talking, well, not quite an hour yet, but I've been talking kind of fast, going through a lot of this stuff. And wouldn't you agree that so far it's been time well spent? And you also know that I can't cover everything that you need in an hour-long webinar, even if we had all day. And I do have a special offer for you so you can get everything you need to know how to do this business. And if you act fast, I'm going to give you a very, very special deal on how to jump into the business flipping arena. Because yes, you need scripts. Yes, you need contracts. Yes, you need access. You need software. You need all these different things that will make you a success, rather than trying to figure out the hard way like I did through trial and error, which is expensive in time and money, right? I want to give you the easy way, let you cheat and bypass all of that stuff. And I also know that old habits die hard. So I want to ask you a question. A lot of you folks, you attend a lot of webinars, you get excited and fired up. Well, what happens the next day? Well, probably nothing for most of you. And that's sad, because I just showed you the exact system that we're using to get equity in companies without paying anything. And in most cases, sellers pay us to take their equity. And you're going to go back tomorrow and not do anything. And the reason why is because old habits die hard. Old habits that are hard to break, okay? I mean, you go back to your office, you do the exact same thing. And the only way you're going to be successful is if we figure out a way to break that habit right now. And the way that you break that habit is by investing in this system. Now we can come here and we can help you get started and give you all the tools to break the habit so that you can become successful. And I'll tell you, if you don't do that, you'll slide back into the same old habits, and everything you did for the last hour or so will completely be useless because you slip back into the same old habits. So the way that you do that is you invest in what we're talking about right now. You invest in a system so that you have the tools to break that habit and take yourself literally to that next level. And I know that you'll be thrilled because over the past hour, we've shared a ton of information with you, but information alone is not going to save you. You need systems, you need acts, you need all this stuff that I'm sharing with you. You need to know how to find the best deals. You need scripts on negotiating no money down deals. You need how to outsource all that work so that you don't have to be the one that does it. Remember, I don't want to do it. I'm not even skilled at doing it. If I could do it, I got to figure it out, and I don't want to. Well, I've given you a ton of information, and information alone will not get you where you need to be. You need this system because that is what's going to help you get to the next level. That's what's really to give you that coaching, the accountability, the software, the teams, the step-by-step to getting your first deal. And look at it this way. People in life, they can have one of two things. They can have money or they can have excuses. That's it. So right now you have two options. One is you can sign up, you can get involved and go make money, or you can come up with an excuse why you couldn't afford it, what you can't, or why you can't do it right now. Whatever excuse is today, that's fine. The reality is you can't have both. You can't have money or excuses. You have to find out which one you want. I don't want you guys to try to figure stuff out here, but what I'd rather, I don't know about you, but I'd rather have the money, and that's why I really think it's important for you to look at what we're talking about. And we have something that's called the business flipping system. So the business flipping system, really, I show you how to find them easily anywhere in the world. We cover 69 different ways to negotiate an amazing deal for you. We give you contracts, case studies. I even show you my 3x3x3 matrix for growth hacking. We show you how to sell them. We even give you access to our different funding sources. Now, when I put this program together, I had really two choices. My first option was go as cheap as possible and try to sell as many these online homestay programs as I could. But you know what? The reality is it doesn't really incentivize me to really serve you if I do it that way. My second option was I could require a slightly higher investment, but in exchange I can devote more resources and time to help you be successful. Now, this program, it's actually for real estate investors, doctors, dentists, lawyers, business consultants, C-level executives. Those are the CEO, CMO, CTO, CFO, stuff like that. Retired folks, stay-at-home parent, college students. It works for everybody in every different type of class. You just have to have the desire to want to control your own destiny. Now, Business Flipping Mastery is really about how to buy your first company using none of your own money. We have a 6-module online course that goes through everything in complete detail. There are recorded videos, templates, swipe files, and contracts so that you can shortcut your success by years and get what's working right now. You can log into the content anytime, anywhere in the world, doing whatever you want, so you can log in wherever. And let me show you what we actually cover inside the program. So module 1 is our quick start program. Then you have the module 2, the finding profitable no money down deals, the negotiation, due diligence, closing a deal, and ultimately growing the business itself. So module 1 is about how to pick the right niche or industry that you want, what types of deals bring you the best results, how to flip a deal to us for your first $20,000 finder's fee, how to build your team, and we get you really dialed in with just the first 7 days. Module 2 is about finding profitable, no money down deals. So we show you where to find the best deals. And it's really, folks, it's not where you think. We also show you how to analyze a deal to find out, is this a good deal or is this a time vampire? So we show you how to really get these deals dialed in about 30 seconds or less. And I've looked at thousands of these different deals. I've really mastered this and refined it into a methodology and a simple to follow process. So we show you how to get these deals to come to you. And I will tell you this, if you mess this part up, you will spend countless hours of wasted time looking at deals that go nowhere or that will not yield you any profit. And I don't want that for you. Module 3 is about negotiating your first deal, creating that perfect elevator pitch. We cover more than 60 different ways to buy a company using none of your own money. I give you my top 6 ways to buy a company no money down. And I'm also going to give you access to my internal Rolodex of funding sources where, you do need money sometimes. Well, we'll show you how to get those funds and how to get the owner to pay you to take their equity in their company. And most people, on average, they take 1 to 2 years looking at deals and never pull the trigger simply because they don't know how to structure the deal So the owner is begging you to take their company. We give you our proven scripts that get you the deal. Module number 4, your due diligence. We show you how to quickly analyze the numbers, what 3 things you must look at before you close any deal. We show you how to get experts to work on your team for free. That's very unique. And most people they kind of get scared by numbers. We show you how to simplify the process and then bring in those experts when you're actually ready and get them to do the work for you for free. Module number 5 is on closing a deal. So we give you the contracts, the forms, the spreadsheets, the checklists. We even have something that's called a compete with me clause. So I don't deal with this, the non-compete agreements. I learned years ago that stuff is really very hard to enforce and just costs me money. With our compete with me clause, I beg people to compete with me because when they do, I get ownership in their company and they give me that permission in advance. Totally unique. You won't get it anywhere else. We also show you how to build all this yourself, but if you want to do that, it'll take over 200 hours and it'll cost you well over $50,000, or you can just copy our stuff because we hand it to you literally on a silver platter. So all you have to do is copy what we've done. Now, I do have my little disclaimer here. Have your attorney review all of this stuff before you use it, okay? It's for your benefit. Now, module number 6 is growing your new company. So how to be the chairman of the board, or the COB, the chairman of the board, working in your company. That's a job. Even if it's high paying, it's still a job. And to me, that's the kiss of death. I don't want you doing that. I want you to have a company that supports your lifestyle. So we show you how and who to outsource all the work to. So I give you access to my top experts on a silver platter. We show you how to 3x the profit of any company regardless of the industry. And we also give you exit strategies on selling without even owning the company. Now, most people have no idea how to triple the profit of a company. And if they did, they don't have the skills to do everything. We get you dialed in with just a few weeks of working together. So let's take a look at that timeline. Really, you've got module 1, your quick start. You got then finding profitable, no money down deals. You got your negotiation, your due diligence, your closing the deal, and then ultimately growing the business. We achieve more in just a few weeks than most people do in 5 years. Now, I'm going to give you a whole lot of bonuses here, so I want you to really pay attention to some of these things that are included with the package. I'm going to add all these bonuses here, but only for the first few people who take action, so I want to keep that in mind. So the first bonus is we're going to give you websites to find these deals in minutes. So we actually show you how with video showing you exactly how to find these things. We give you scripts to use with brokers and sellers. That's a $9.97 value. Show you you can actually look over my shoulder like you were sitting in my office watching me do things online. I actually show you how to do that. We give you access to those videos. That's a $9.97 value. We give you the forms, the contracts, the ads. That's at least $5,000 there alone. Talk to any attorney and you'll know what I mean. We give you the exit strategies on selling without even owning the company. That's a $1,500 value. And we give you our growth hacking strategies that work on any company regardless of the industry. So these strategies are proven because we've done it again and again and again. That alone is just a $3,500 value. All told, that's $11,006 in total value right there. But I've got more bonuses. So you're also going to get access to come to my 3-day live training event for you and your spouse or significant or a business partner. So what I want you to do is bring your support structure with you to the event, because guess what? Now you can have them understand what it is that you're doing so they can support you when you go back home. You also get videos of the live event so you can watch it afterwards just to get refreshers on things. We give you weekly training coaching calls to answer all of your questions. That's a $1,497 value. We give you a live chat system, answer your most pressing questions. So if you don't want to wait for a coaching call that we're doing on a weekly basis, just go into our chat system and you can talk to one of our coaches or one of our existing students who are doing on deals, or even me, and we'll actually answer questions for you. You'll also receive up to a $20,000 finder's fee on deals that you send to us. That's a priceless value by itself. You can also partner up with us to do a deal with you. We won't do it for you, but we'll do it with you. We'll help you negotiate it, structure it, fund it, whatever we need to do. But you can get equity and a finder's fee in that deal. Now, that's always on a case-by-case basis, so it depends on the deal. That's really a priceless value by itself. I'm also going to give you some internal software developed we call the Deal Genie. And what the Deal Genie does is it goes out there, scours the internet based on the state or the city or the country that you're in and the requirements for how much income you want to make or the industry. It will go out and find these deals for you. So all you have to do is then click on the link and go right to that company where it's being offered for sale, and you can bypass searching endlessly on these different websites because there's a lot of results that are out there. You're also going to receive real-life examples of deals that we've been working on or that we've done and inside our deals and what our partners are working on right now, so you get access to those as well. Now, as another bonus, I'm going to give you what I call the AMA or Ask Me Anything, our deal review calls, where I get on every single month and I will answer all of your questions. So it's you and me having a conversation, and we're actually talking on the phone. Other people get to listen in. And if there aren't any deals that you guys are working on, guess what? We'll talk about deals that I'm working either myself or with my students, and we'll show you what we're doing, and that usually generates even more questions. So we do that every single month. You'll have access to those as well. So total value, you got the previous 11,000 plus this at 10,485. Total value, $21,491 in total value. So you just do the math, right? 3 years of failure, wasted time, trial and effort trying to figure this stuff out on your own, testing hundreds of things to see what works and doesn't work, getting burned, looking at junker deals and work with those time vampires that they just suck all the life out of you because the deal's never going to go through, or wasting time and money doing due diligence on deals that are never going to go anywhere. So we're only looking for a few new partners. And all included in the system, you get the business mastery system, you get the live event training, you get the videos of the live event, the online support and chat system, weekly training calls, webinars, the growth hacking strategies to work on any company, the ability to partner on deals for equity and cash, real life case studies, Deal Genie software, referral fees up to 20 grand. Whew, that's a lot of stuff. Well, all together, folks, guess what? You can get it all just for $19.97 today. Now, I will also do this. I want to add in one last minute bonus here, and that's this. I will add in $1,000 travel discount to help you get to the live event and network with our team and other students who've already done deals. So you'll be able to take $1,000 off the $19.97 as a bonus, but only for the first few people to take action today. It's not available after those spots are filled. So imagine this. If all this did was finally give you more time to do the things you love, would it be worth it? If all it did was give you the time or give you the kick in the butt to finally get moving, would it be worth it? And if all it did was give you an extra $10,000 or $20,000 a month, would it be worth it? Well, this is a one-time investment, and you get a knowledge for a lifetime, and folks, you're absolutely going to love it. Well, what's one business worth to you? One business worth $5,000, $10,000, $25,000, maybe more? Well, how much would you pay to get ownership with no cash out of pocket? What if you did just one deal a year? Would it be worth it? Well, what if you did one deal a quarter and you got 4 deals over the next year? Would it be worth it? Well, it's a great deal, isn't it? And so, guys, I mean, this is a phenomenal opportunity to get started with the program right now. So you can see why others are paying me $160,000 plus 20% of their profits up to $1 million just to set this up for them. But you don't have to do that. So the question that I really have for you is, who wants to be next? Who wants to do this with me? Because right now, folks, I'm looking for just a couple of new success stories immediately, because I have a very special offer for a couple of you, and I'll give you more on that here in just a minute. But right now, I'm looking at a small window of opportunity, because some of our marketing that we're doing with my private equity group, we're looking for immediate success stories that I can use as case studies to market some other things that we're doing. So I have a very special offer for you, but I'm talking really just for a couple of you that I'm going to offer this to. I'm going to share that with you here in just a second. So I'm really looking not for somebody who wants to buy a course or something to get trained on. I'm looking for partners, people who I can mentor and have me apprentice you to do these kinds of deals, so that we can actually do deals here in the next 30 to 90 days. And whatever reason you showed up wanting today, for why you showed up, I hope you got this one thing, that this system is designed to be your treasure map for owning your own business and start your financial future. It's really, really simple. So here's a quick question for you. Would you like to get, if you could get everything for free? And most people actually, I see some of you have already typed in yes, and you were ready to type in a chat box, or maybe you were typing something else, but like yes, because you saw it a second ago. And so, some of you are typing, would you like to get everything for free? And if the answer is yes, let me show you how you can get everything for free. So there's actually 2 very simple ways for you to get everything for free. First way you do this is this. You simply find one business deal that Mike, that's me, I'm able to buy. We partner, and we do everything that we do. I then give you a rebate. Now, I give you a rebate of your entire investment plus up to a $20,000 refiner's fee. The second way that you do this, so you get all of your money back plus a $20,000 refiner's fee, or you partner with our team on a deal, let us do the work, and you will get a rebate of your investment plus you'll get ownership in the company that you found. So you'll get ownership and you get all of your money back. So you can get your money back plus a finder's fee, or you can get ownership in the deal and your money back. Which one would you rather have? And I'm just curious, by the way, why don't you go ahead and just type there for a second and tell me what it is that you would rather have. Would you rather have your money back plus a $20,000 finder's fee, or would you rather have your money back plus ownership in the company? And let's see, ownership, the 20,000. Okay, so it's looking to be probably about a 3-to-1. That's a rough guesstimation. About 3-to-1 of people saying they'd rather have equity and their money back versus their money back and the finder's fee. And by the way, folks, that's actually a really smart way of thinking about it, because the equity, not only do you get your money back, right, but the equity gets you cash flow on a monthly basis. Plus, when we sell it and we've grown it, you also get paid out on that equity down the road. So that's actually a really smart way of doing it. So you can get started today, and yeah, you see a clock that just kind of got started today. So that website is www.mybizflip.com/Ty. So mybiz with a Z, flip.com/Ty, and Ty is spelled Ty. Or you could also call toll free at 888-859-0559. Again, that phone number one more time is 888-859-0559. Now keep in mind the business flipping system is quite simple, but it took me a long time to figure out the formula that actually works. Now I don't want you to suffer like I had to suffer early on when I was doing this, how to find the right kind of deals, the places where to go, or the right things to say or not to say. If you leave now, if you decide to do this, do it yourself, what's going to happen is you're going to try to find and buy deals on your own, and either one of two things will happen. You'll either throw up your hands and think it doesn't work because you're doing it wrong, or you'll end up paying way too much for a deal and taking on personal responsibility that you should not be doing. I don't want that for you. You've got nothing to risk by putting down a good faith deposit right now, because a business flipping system is infinitely scalable. I mean, I get so excited about this. There's no reason why you can't go out there and do one or more of these deals per month and make a yearly income of at least $100,000 more a year simply by just sending us deals. Now, if you want to partner with us on deals or have us fund deals for you, you can make even more money. But the choice is yours. You get to choose. Now, keep in mind, everybody, this is just for the first 12 people who agree to be case studies and jump on this deal right now. And, Ty, I know I covered a lot of very powerful stuff, and I'm pretty sure those 12 spots are going to go fast, since this is an amazing offer that's just not available anywhere else.
Hey, Mike, I want to jump in here real quick and just say, man, this was an amazing webinar, an amazing training, very eye-opening. And I want to thank you for coming in and teaching this exclusive training, this exclusive content to my group. Listen, I see a lot of things, right? I've been at this forever, it seems like. And this is one of the most concrete, one of the most diehard ways of actually going in and creating a substantial amount of income for anyone. Right? Whether you're someone that's new at this or someone that is just a little bit more seasoned, I think this is something that can work for someone of all angles, right? Of all degrees. So thank you for joining us and for hearing this. If you're watching, if you're still on the fence right now, that means that you see the opportunity. I mean, as you can tell, this is a life-changing system, right? It's something that works for everyone. This is one of the best ways for new and experienced investors alike to make up to $20,000 in finder's fees. The strategy is infinitely scalable. I mean, I get so excited about this, there's just no reason why you can't do one or more of these deals per month and easily generate a yearly income of at least $100,000 or more, right? So folks, don't wait until it's too late to take advantage of this. And I say that because every once in a while when we do these types of webinars, there's that one individual, there's that person that reaches out to my support desk, or they reach out to me on Facebook and they're like, hey, Ty, can I get in? And unfortunately, once you miss the deadline, the timeline, there's no way for me to get you in. So action takers are breadwinners, are money makers, all right? So order now by visiting the link that you see on your screen, by visiting the link that Mike gave you. If you want to, you can also call in your order. I know a lot of folks like calling in. So the number to call in if you wish to is 1-888-859-0559. And I know that the phone lines right now are already jammed. So if you get the voicemail, just leave a message with your name and your phone number and let them know that you are on the webinar with Ty Cohen. One of our guys will reach out to you And that way you can also secure your bonus spot. So again, that number is 1-888-859-0559. And again, if you get a voicemail, make sure you leave your name, your number, your email address, right? Multiple ways for them to contact you, and let them know that you were on the webinar with Ty Cohen so that you get the bonuses as well. All right, so everyone that's already gotten in, I know I see a ton of people that are in. Susie and Michael and James and Jordan's in. A ton of people. I can't even rattle off the names fast enough. You're part of this exclusive, this elite group. So I want to say welcome aboard. I know you're absolutely going to love Mike's program like many of my other students have. And Mike, I see we had a bunch of questions that came in during this webinar. So can we go ahead and cover some of these right now?
You know, I do have some calls with some business sellers right after this, so if we can keep it short, yeah, I'd say let's go ahead and do that. I love helping people any way I can. So yeah, what do you got?
All right, so first question I had, and this is something I imagine a lot of people on the call right now have, is how fast can I begin to make money right now? I mean, they need cash flow quickly, right? So a lot of people on the call are thinking exactly the same thing. How fast can I begin to make money off of this program?
You know, that's a great question. The answer is typically within a few weeks you should be able to do that, maybe 30 days. So being realistic, you go out there, you do a little bit of research, you find some deals, you talk to a couple of people, and you ask them, hey, are you interested in selling your company for more than it's worth today? If they say yes, well, let us know who they are, because we might be interested in either buying it from them or partnering with them to help them grow. And it doesn't matter how we structure the deal with sellers. As long as we structure a deal, you get paid. So if you're sending a deal like a lot of students do, they send us deals even before they come to some of our live training, where you're going to get paid that $20,000 up to $20,000 for every single deal that you sent to us that we're able to buy. Okay. So we pay that to you up front before we do anything with that company, before we grow it and before we resell it. You don't have to wait for any of that stuff. As soon as we get that company, we pay you. And then later down the road, let's say after you've done 10 or 20 or 30 deals, you can start keeping all of the profits yourself, which, by the way, is what most students do. Eventually, they cut out the middleman, which is me. Outside of agreeing to be a case study, there's no requirement to send me deals. Now, do I hope that you'll send me a deal? Sure I do. But there is no actual requirement. And that's why I periodically open up my program for new affiliates, because my old affiliates, they just cut out the middleman, and that's me. And folks, I need more deals. And you're going to find deals I never even knew about. Now, you can actually literally get started within just seconds of watching this presentation right now. And hopefully, if our system is working correctly, an order link will pop up on the screen here that you can see, or you can simply open up another tab on your browser and type in the order link that you see right there and get started right now. As soon as you click on that order link or type in that page, it'll literally take you right over to the order page, and you can start looking at the materials and watching some of the videos there and get started right now, literally within seconds after placing your order. I mean, Ty, do you think that's a good way for people to get started making $20,000 a deal just for sending a deal to us and letting us take over and do all the work?
Okay, so I was getting so excited I almost cut you off. I mean, it's just amazing. What else can you do and go out and make $20,000 in less than 30 days? And the best part is that you're in a market that hardly anyone is doing. That's a huge demand. Hardly anyone knows about it. I love how you have made it super easy for people to get started and just make finder fees of $20,000 per deal without having to worry about them actually buying a company until they are ready. Or they could simply partner with you and watch everything that you do. Now, I see we have a few more orders that have come in. All right, we've got Reggie on the line. We've got Kevin here. We've got Michael. We've got another Michael coming in. And while we have been talking, orders are just flooding in. So I want to give you a quick congratulations to those folks that have already made the right decision and jumped on board. So welcome aboard, guys. You made the correct decision. So those that are still sitting on the fence, do not miss out. Grab your spot right now by visiting the URL that was given to you in this webinar, or you can call 1-888-859-0559 and let them know that you were on the webinar with Ty Cohen and Mike Warren. And if you get a voicemail, make sure that you leave your name, your telephone number, and your email address. right? Okay, so let's go ahead and hit the next question. So Mike, why can't I find deals on my own and keep the whole deal? So somebody wants to know, why can't they find deals on their own and keep the whole fee for themselves?
Well, actually, they can. You could keep the entire deal yourself. And the way that you do that, though, is, I wouldn't encourage anybody to just go out there and try to do the deal or do a deal and do it all by yourself unless they go through the training, because there's a lot of little things that you need to learn. There's a lot of little psychological pieces that we look for and that we talk to the seller about to structure these deals as no money down deals. And that's the best part, because you're doing these deals no money down. So sometimes there's cash that's required, and we can actually get the funding for you, and we'll cover all of that at the live event. So we'll show you exactly how we will fund your deals, and we'll teach you that at the live event. So I want to encourage you to come to the live training. And once you come to the live training, you'll learn exactly how you can buy these companies and keep them all to yourself, assuming that's what you want to do. Now, most people have found, though, that they actually want to partner with us on at least the first couple of deals. So at the live training, we show you can actually partner with us to do these deals, because we found that if you go out there and you start finding deals, we're going to pay you up to a $20,000 finder's fee after you go to the training just for sending a deal to us that we're able to buy. So we're going to pay you that. And the reason that we want to do that is that you're going to find deals out there that we never knew about. I mean, the bottom line is, and I'm looking at, and I want to have full disclosure here, okay? You all know that we're going to be making a boatload of money by buying the company, growing it, and then reselling it. But it's going to take us a few years in order to make that happen, okay? However, when you find that deal, you get paid right now today. You don't have to wait a couple years down the road to make that money. Now, if you buy a company yourself, whether you use our money to buy it or partner with us or do it on your own, well, you're literally, if you buy $1 million company, you should be getting a six-figure salary out of that company, and you can structure that deal as a no money down deal. If it's a deal that needs funding, not a problem. We can help you with that too. So if you want to have a six-figure job and own a company like that, then great, you can do that, and we'll teach you exactly how, step by step. But most people, they start out and they say, you know what, Mike, I just want to send deals to you. Pay me my $20,000 finder's fee. Let me build up my pipeline, my pool of cash, and then later on down the road, maybe we'll partner. And you know what, folks? I'm okay with that as well. So we can go either way, but we ultimately need you to find deals for us, because you will find deals we never knew about. And we're willing to pay you a lot of money to find these deals, because there's so much money on the back end. Yes, we work for our money on the back end. Don't get me wrong. Okay. But we're willing to do it because you're going to find a deal we didn't know about. So out of curiosity, let me ask everyone with us today a question. What would you rather have? And you can use your question and answer box for that. What would you rather have? The maximum $20,000 finder's fee, or would you rather have equity in the deal where we do the work and you get a cut of the profits as well as when we sell the business later? So you get profit now and profit sharing, and you get a lump sum of cash when we sell the business down the road. What would you rather have? And just use your question and answer box there and give me a response. And I see some of you are already responding. It looks like, the equity, you'd rather do the percentage. Well, there's a $20,000 finder's fee, and somebody's saying, yeah, the fee because you got some bills to pay. Okay, I get it. So not a problem. So most of you, I'd say it's about 9 out of 10 of you, 90% are saying that they'd rather have the equity, and that's cool. For me personally, I think that's a smarter play. It depends on your own individual circumstance, but what I look at is how can I get cash today and cash in the future by doing the least amount of work now, and by doing equity that allows you to do that. So I just wanted to have full disclosure there with everybody. So, and Ty, I hope that made sense to you. Did I answer that okay?
Yeah, it absolutely did. And the benefit of that is that, a lot of people don't want to worry about having to learn anything about buying and selling a company unless you want to flip these deals on your own. And the best part is that all you have to do is find a deal, and then you get paid. You don't have to worry about anything else behind, or I should say beyond that, right? Me personally, I would recommend that you just partner with Mike and his team on your first couple of deals to make sure that you're doing everything the right way. That way, if they're leading you in the right direction. And Mike, I have not forgotten that I know before the call you mentioned that you were on a very tight schedule because you have another call with a seller that you have right after we get off of this phone call, right? So I want to be really respectful of your time and respectful of the fact that you have this other scheduled call. Now, when you work with Mike, you won't be disappointed. He really underpromises and over-delivers. But anyway, Mike, do you have any last-minute thoughts before we go ahead and close it down?
Yeah, you know what? How about I leave you with this quote? So this is a quote I made up, and it goes like this. Opportunities don't go away. They just go to somebody else. So let me say that one more time. Opportunities don't go away. They just go to somebody else. And what I've noticed over the years, one thing that separates people who live their dream from people who just dream is the ability to take action. Action is not something you say. Action is something that you do. And everybody on this call has the exact same opportunity to get started and get your first $20,000 check on deals that you send to us, or you can keep all the profits by doing your own deals, or you can even partner on deals with us, or you can even have us fund your deals for you. So now really is the time to get off the sidelines, do something different so that you'll finally get the result that you've always wanted and that you deserve. It's about really having that life of significance. To finally have a chance to stand up to those folks who said it can't be done and flash that cash in their face and say, oh, yes, it can. And for those of you that might be sitting on the fence, here's what I encourage you to do. Just take that first step and get started. Find a deal or two, make up to $20,000 the next month or so. And if you can't decide, then you know what? You're probably never going to decide. And maybe this is actually just not for you. Maybe you want to keep doing what you've been doing and getting the same results you've always gotten. Now, if you're stuck like that and you don't want our help, then all I can do is just say, thank you for attending. But most of you are here on this call for a reason. You have a risk-free trial of the program. You have absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain by giving the program a try. So just go to mybizflip.com/Ty or call 888-859-0559 to get started. And if you need any help, you need to put it on a couple different credit cards, you need help with payment plans, just pick up the phone and call our office and we'll do whatever we can to help you. Now, if you get a message, just leave your name and a number and the best time to call you back, and one of our associates will call you right back. Now, by now, you see, this is your opportunity to make a change in your life and create a global revolution where you get to help create jobs and help companies grow by working with us. The time is now, so come on board and you'll be glad that you did. Now, just again, one more time, the order link to open up another tab on your browser and type in mybizflip.com/Ty or call toll free at 888-859-0559 and get started. And Ty, I think we ought to wrap it up here for today. And by the way, I was taking a look and there are only 2 spots that are remaining. So I know your folks are really excited and they're ready to get going. And I want to encourage them all to go out there and just start finding some deals and let us start cutting them some big checks.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much again, Mike, for coming and doing this. I know that you're super busy. He's busy making money, right? Making deals. Now, this has really been great. Thank you for everyone who stayed until the very end of this webinar. We really appreciate you. And also our heartfelt thanks for everyone who got started, everyone that has joined us and that has taken Mike up on this special offer here. One last time. There are only 2 bonus spots left, so grab your spot before they're gone. I don't want you to miss out. So open up another browser window right now and visit the URL that you see on your screen, or the URL that Mike handed out earlier, right? Or you can call. I'll give you this toll-free number once again to grab something to write it down with before I give it to you. Or you can call this number, 1-888-859-0559, and to make sure that you qualify for all of the bonuses, right? Make sure that you tell them that you were on the webinar with Ty Cohen, right? Tycohen. And if you get a voicemail, make sure that you leave your telephone number. You speak slowly and leave your name, first and last name. And you, again, speak slowly and leave your email address, all right? Name, phone number, email address. Now, I know you're going to love this, and I would love for everyone who's got started to come to me and give me some feedback on how great Mike's program is, because we love the testimonials coming in. And this is going to be a program that you're going to have an easy time with, right? It's not like some of these complicated programs. This one is super easy. A lot of times we're getting testimonials after clients have only worked with Mike for 1 or 2 weeks. And there's not many other programs that we refer to that level that actually produce such emphatic positive responses as Mike's program. So this is something that I personally get really excited about, and I want to personally encourage everyone to start doing this as another way to bring in even more money on top of whatever it is that you're earning right now. Whether you have a job, whether you're running a business, whether you have a full-fledged business, this is an awesome way to supplement what it is that you're doing right now. So thank you to everyone for joining us. And this is Ty Cohen signing off. And Mike Warren, thank you again for coming. Enjoy the rest of your day, your morning, your night. Have a good one. Bye-bye.